Hi. Okay, tell me if the channel is working correctly, because I'm out the back and it might interfere with Mercury retrograde. So if it is distorted, tell me and I'll go inside. I'll just wait and you can tell me my face is going all mangled. I'm not flash or anything. I'm going to the beautician today, so how are we all? Are we enjoying not having Yildiz live? Hasn't it been peaceful? Hasn't it been super, super wonderful? How many people do we have? I've been fiercely chasing my tail, and I know we all want the twin flame update, and I'm like, there's been a lot of downloads. It's like, okay, where would I start? Where would I start? How has our psyche been, whether we've been in that psychoanalytical energy, that meditation and reflection in the silence of our own minds? Have we been enjoying it? Yes, I'm smoking tobacco. It's not illicit. Hi, guys. How are you? Yes, I'm alive. I'm still here. Yeah, no shit, right? I'll just wait for everyone to connect and then we'll have that chit-chat that we always have. It's been an interesting transformation. I haven't even made contact with Mark yet. So, Mark, I'm not avoiding you. I'm bogged under by work. It's been horrendous. I've had a sick daughter. I've been unwell as well. I need an infusion because I'm low on iron. So I've been hitting the iron tablets until I can have the infusion. So as for the updates, how many do we have? We've got 7 people so far. Nobody knows I was going live. I do that, you know, I'm not very nice. In the new year, yes, I will be giving you guys more warning. I'll have more a structured system. That's what I'm working on behind the scenes. For the first 2 months of January, the videos will be, for the romance side of it, they're going to be super short, but I will extend them by March, and they'll be a lot longer. So bear with me while I'm going through that transition, because having opened the new channel, I've had to add videos there too. So there's going to be, you'll have your romance readings at Yildiz Readings. You'll have the, obviously, the astrology related subject matters and any psychic downloads I will add to this channel. And then we'll have the twin flame path on the other channel and all the live sessions for the twin flame path on the other channel. So I'll still cover love and romance, but you'll have your general and your finance kind of incorporated. And I will be giving readings away each month. I'm still due to give one away this month. So whoever shares the folder the most, I'll check through, or comments, etc. And I'll pick one who has written in the comments after this has been uploaded, and I will select a person for a 1-hour Skype reading. What other updates do I need to give you? I was super, what could the word be? Yeah, it's not fun, is it, Donna? It's difficult with the non-communication, but the reason it's there for is to help you actually attain that clarity inside yourself. And I'll go into that in a minute. As for the videos that I opened, I did mention in it that 17 years, walk in the park now. As for the updates, I did mention in the video, especially the financial videos, I think I mentioned I would do an astrology update that would be purchasable via the website. At the moment, that's on hold, and that's only because I've had over 80 videos I've had to do to be prepared for 2019. If I can do them, I will actually release a video stating they're up for sale, but it will be by Zodiac sign. Otherwise, I'll gauge it how I go, but I'll have to retract that only for the workload that I've committed myself to, because there will be weekly videos for the Twin Flame Path on the other channel. It'll either be monthly and then mid-month, but it may move towards weekly. But they're going to be more in-depth when I open Vimeo, hopefully in March, where all the love readings will have extended over in Vimeo. Now, as for the lack of communication, this is the best possible time to gain that clarity inside about where your structures are in your emotional needs and what you physically feel that you need out of your romantic sector. So it's, you know, again, it's when we look to them for that clarity, it's not saying that, no, you don't need the communication and you don't want that to come from them. But after all the retrogrades we've had, it's really quite healthy to have a little bit of time out and really sit in that frequency and say, okay, where to from here? Now, in the old ways of doing things, I can honestly tell you a lot of times I actually paused my total path in life. And it was like if somehow I made a wrong move, my whole life will come toppling down, or I would not be in alignment with that person and I would miss the boat. It's not of that nature. That's the codependent frequency. So if you have any aspects of that going on, it's something that you need to free yourself of at a spiritual level. A lot of us have had that issue with finances at the moment. That's really something that we need to be looking at in our passion sector. You know, Venus with Uranus is very much our spiritual core self, as well as what our expectations are and needs at a personal level within our romance house, what we personally need. Another thing which I was talking to Giggle about is I have been looking at the aspect of communication, psychology, into the way in which we all interconnect with each other. Now, at a very basic level, when we are still in that old frequency of runner-chaser, there's still that residue frequency of on their side or our side, not both. You know, sometimes it's just one side where you're purging that factor. Now, for those of you who are further down the journey, where you've been really doing a lot of work on that, when you come to a place that you can look at it and go, okay, remember back your whole life, any karmic relationship you may have had, and that can be with children, it can be with bosses, it can be with a physical partner of a sexual nature. When you're in that frequency, right, and it's just not meshing, you are to the point that you're scared to make a move. You're scared to be in a particular vibration. Now, I'm just going to see if I can pull these down because I don't know. I'll put a smiley face. I think it's kind of paused. Yeah, okay. When you're in that frequency, a lot of what does happen is there's a time frame to resolve and solve those problematic things, right? So it might be the financial reason you're in a particular dynamic, and that can be at work and you're thinking, oh, you know, lack mentality, pain body mentality. When you're in that frequency, it does take a while to actually evolve, right? For the masculines, a lot of people are getting quite triggered because you're having an expectation. It's not, now when I say expectation, don't take it personal. I'm meaning sometimes when you're spiritually connected to a person, they're in a healing state. You need to be mindful of that. If your twin is interacting with you and communicating with you, and it's like, wow, we've known each other for 10 years, 14 years, 20 years, 5 years. This shit's been going in and out. The reality is, by you knowing consciously that they have not ended that karmic cycle, moving out of it isn't ending a karmic cycle. There's the healing state. Okay, so if they've been through the ringer in life, what does happen is there is this process that needs to happen for them to purge that frequency. So it's the realization that they may have lost jobs, homes, partners, friendships, sense of self, then the dark night of the soul, and then they're coming out of that and then they're going back into it again. Remember back to your journey, and that's really the way you have to look at it. You can't, when you're in that frequency and they're going through that process, look at it as a romantic connection temporarily. And it's like getting out of a mental ward and then going, hey, let's get down. It's like you don't want to be doing that, because you're looking at it like the person's completely healed, but the reality is until they are happy in their own light, you are literally having a relationship with a person that is unwell because they're healing. It's pain body experience. So in entertaining that, you're entertaining the pain body and expecting them to be the enlightened energy in their own life. you know, and really working with you guys for the last 2 years, it's been incredibly educational. And I think the one thing that I've noticed is a lot about myself and the way I would interact and the perspective and perception I would put to the world, especially on my own private Facebook page, and some of the things that perhaps people thought of me, not that I really give a shit, but it's more seeing it from another person's point of view, and perhaps what the mindsets were could have even been perhaps the aspect of what my twin was thinking of me. The funny thing is what we put out isn't always what's inside, and we know that, especially in the twin flame journey. So, hi, Stella. What you find with your twin is they'll say one thing and they'll do another, and it's like, hey, intuitively I was feeling X, Y, and Z, but really what you're projecting now is not so. In meditating upon my journey, I've seen a lot more without the conversation. I've gained a lot of clarity, and that's only for what transpired in the last year between the both of us. I've seen things that he hasn't even mentioned to me, and I totally see it for the way it is. Now, there's always the other person's perspective, the reasons why, etc. That may come, that may never come. And at some stage, sometimes you have to find that closure inside yourself, but also learn something from it and understand the absolute blessing it is. I mean, now if I entertain connections, I'm very cautious. And the silly thing is, for a very long time, I'd come to a place where I didn't trust my intuition. So it has, in theory, been the best thing that ever happened to me, because my intuition was telling me something was up, yet I wasn't listening to it. At the same time, I would never go back to that frequency that is me babysitting another adult. I'm too beyond that. You do not want to go down that road. Your life should be so far more important than babysitting another individual. So it's not a judgment. It's more taking more accountability for yourself. Realizing that not everything in life is just love. Yes, we want love, but if we don't love ourselves, how can we love another person? Being alone can be as lonely as being with a person, but if you know who you are, you're not lonely anymore. So it then doesn't become a requirement that you physically need to have a relationship right here, but you're building to that at regardless of what you're wanting. You know you're going to select a correct match for you, because you're not going to have time for the bullshit. You just won't. You will sniff a rat in the way they communicate with you. I mean, my twin has been the best teacher, and he knows that too, because I know him very well. He taught me every aspect of what men are, of what men can be, and what men aren't. And the mindset, the trigger points, the way they perceive things. So I've learned a great deal, which makes me probably a very dangerous feminine. But at the same time, it's to use that energy and that frequency in a very adult way, which is enlightenment. It's no longer having that codependent frequency of needing another person. I would like another person to share my life with, which I'm open to that. But the things I'm not open to are the lower frequency situations where a person spiritually is looking at you as an item that has passed gone. At a point, we might have used ourselves as a trade system and felt that that's what was required for that transaction. And physically speaking, yes, the eye, our senses, our DNA is directly connected to, how would you put it? We can smell the chemistry of the connection. It's shown in biology that the mate that you're attracted to, you will be able to instinctively know that that is a correct match for your DNA to procreate with. So instinctually, you know who your match is vibrationally. Spiritually is a very different subject. It's not that that person can't be with you. And a lot of people are saying, you know, well, this has been like this for how many years? But if you had been the same, that was the only reason that frequency wasn't changing. Now, we can also say, which again is what I talked to Shelley about, where have you seen a man that changed? It's not about the fact that it doesn't happen. It's not for us. It's how have we changed, right? Because I know for me, I was a real bitch years ago. And I probably am now, but I do it in a playful manner, but I also don't muck around with any BS. I really don't. I'm very patient, but I sniff a rat and I don't play games. When it does come to a person's personal transformation, Think back to the worst possible relationship you've had. It could even be a dynamic you were in, a very bad job where you were getting triggered, you were feeling emotional, and you were going, I've got to do this, I've got to make it right, and you can feel the panic building. Could you live in that frequency forever? No. Would it end? Yes. Nothing ever stays the same forever. Dating that person spiritually is going to stay the same forever is absolutely impossible. And that's not from an aspect of me having this codependent energy of needing, like my twin to change. It's from a reality-based frequency of when a person becomes fatigued by doing the same thing and eating the same shit, you get tired of it. So for him spiritually, yes, naturally, life evolves. We change the way we directly relate to people. Some friends go by the wayside. Some friends remain true. You change. It's part of life. We evolve. You might want steak one day. You may want a cheese toastie tomorrow. You may gain an ailment, and then suddenly be on a liquid diet. It's the way life goes. So the transformation as such, yes, it will be. You know, just look at your twin flame journey. Have a look externally at the situation, at your twin, and have a look at what has gone on in their life, perhaps over the last year, perhaps over the last time frame of your connection with them, very externally, not with you, with their world very separately. And then look at your world and have a look at that mirror of how much your life has changed. Because that's really what's going to be happening when it does come to the aspect of their transformation. Now, again, your expectation on them to be ready right now because you've bloody waited a year and you've been purging and you've been all over the place, they've been in it too. And it's like, again, that's the old frequency. I need to hear from my twin because my life is validated by this human being. Your life is not validated by this human being. It is a spiritual connection. At times, you may feel at a level, if they're not growing, you do need to let them go. You need to let them do their life because that is their energy to come correct. And it's not they're coming back perfect if you choose to entertain that. It's more that you need to value yourself enough to look at yourself as a queen, right? Or a king, however that fits. Not when you're empty inside, you are having a relationship with a cup. It's not even half full. It's empty. When you don't know yourself and you're not doing things that make you happy in your life, you're not ready for a relationship. Even getting triggered by a karmic is an absolute waste of time because even in that dynamic, all they're doing is staying in the same frequency. And if they already had outgrown that frequency, that person won't handle their energy and they're repeating the same cycle like a bunny rabbit, right? So if they're fearing the dynamic that people are going to leave them choosing something to boost their ego, which can be younger women, younger man, hotter man, richer man, whatever the self-esteem related ego block is, what does happen is that temporarily masks that so you don't have to look at yourself and say, I'm getting old, or I'm less than my twin because he's better than me, she's better than me. What's actually going on is a you problem, you know, that it's not about the younger person. It's not about the richer person. It's not about the safer dynamic. It's about you. And that's for all of us. That when we can actually look at it that way, we realize we're in codependency. If we're doing it from a vibrational point of view of, hey, man, I've been through that. I totally know. You know, now I'm making no excuses when it comes to my hopes and dreams, which is pretty sucky because it's been a big job. But you want something, you're going to make it happen. But at the same time, when a person is in that frequency, what they've done is they've picked a better situation to make their energy feel better about themselves, but it's still lower frequency because it's an empty victory. And the empty victory is that they somehow feel nobody will look at them and actually see the truth of what they feel inside, which is less. But suddenly they're back to square one again. I still feel less even with this person next to me. All right. So yes, that does change because the problem isn't another person. The problem's not a karmic. The problem's not an ex-partner. It's about owning your power, creating healthy boundaries. If you have a twin that has a karmic partner, it could be the mother, it could be a parent, a mother, a father, it can be anybody. Whoever this karmic energy is, at some point drawing a line in that sand and saying, hey, stop. Your expectations far exceed what I'm willing to give, and you're suffocating me. It's a suffocation energy, and it's not a nice frequency to be in. That is not love. That's control, especially with where the planets are. We've got Venus and Uranus working together. Uranus is very much about our spiritual core truth. Venus is very much about what we're passionate about and our love. So it's our belief systems around what we think is correct. There may be in a movement paradigms where people are more open in their connections, but it's about being true to your paradigm, not another's. You know, your paradigm may be, look, I'm monogamous, and that's very much me. I'm a one person. I'm for one person. I don't entertain open connections. That's my personal ecosystem. Yours may be, you're happy to, you know, be in open connections. It's a person's personal ecosystem that we're assessing at the moment. But we've also got Mercury retrograde, which is the aspect of the communication. So it's, listen, how do you feel? Who are you? Looking at, you know, at the lower frequency of Mercury retrograde with the other two planets, what it's actually saying is, in the quietness of you meditating upon yourself in your love life, what your darker aspect is. You know, are you a cheater? Are you all monogamous? Are you super uptight? However it be, what your prejudice is, what your balance and clarity is. All of that's going to come to the surface, good and bad. How you're going to proceed forward with your direct actions is going to be very important. So it can be suddenly people will come towards you in a sense of a test. And this always happens when you break up in your twin flame journey. Somebody external will come in. That can be of a nature where you actually entertain it, or you're just dealing with their frequency. Their frequency will mirror yours, how you were in the twin flame journey. You will then see an aspect of you inside that person, or an aspect of your twin inside that person or people. And it can be coming through various forms, through bosses, through parents, through partners. When you see that, that energy is what you guys need to be assessing right now. What is the universe showing me? What exactly am I seeing in an aspect of myself and other people? Or, got to keep an eye on the time because I've got a big drive, or in an aspect of love interests who are coming towards you. You know, and for me personally, I had some real eye-opening situations in the last 2 weeks. I had a stalker. Guy that delivered my gazebo somehow got the con note number, and he was smashing my inbox with messages saying that I was the love of his life, and we'd been talking in inbox. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know who you are. And at first I was polite, and then I was, look, not interested. I'm not buying what you're selling. But we could get to know each other. I don't want to get to know you. I'm still amused by that. And then there was another person who, ironically, it was like, let's go, okay, masculine's mindsets are very interesting. But then this can be a direct reflection on what you've projected, which I had to check in with self. It's like, okay, what projection are you putting out there about your resume, so to speak? Because we all are a resume. And it's really not your problem if somebody misinterprets how you project yourself, but it's interesting to be in self-awareness with that factor, right? With this situation, this person inboxed me and they wanted to be extremely private. Their partner had been triggered by me. And in the message, they then became a little bit suggestive. I was like, I just thought I was having a conversation with you. Some people's frequencies will be, send me a picture. Send you a picture. Again, perspective. What resume are you sending out there that perhaps they're thinking? And this can be maybe what your twin did to you. And it's checking in with yourself again. And it's going, I'm not that person. That's not who I am. I'm old school. So check in with, you know, what is going on around you and how people are perceiving you, how you're perceiving yourself right now, and what's going on in that dynamic, and who is the new person you are today, not who you were through your twin flame journey. You know, just take a very temporary pause. Don't get all triggered about Christmas and bloody New Year's. God willing, we've got many to come. You know, invest in yourself enough to do the internal questioning and sit there and say, the best version, okay, even if it's you need to because you're getting triggered and you're thinking, God, even remotely moving on from twin and having a soulmate energy is horrendous. Stop and tune into the frequency, which is the best version of a person being in a relationship with you and how that would make you feel. Then you can change your equator of your calculation of what you feel vibrationally your self-worth is. And you can say, okay, what do I feel I'm worth? What do I want to be in my new sense of who I am moving forward? What dreams do I want to attain? What is blocking me from believing I can have the most healthy, beautiful connection? You know, and we all go into connections with baggage, but the less baggage we go on with, the better, because we can't then be manipulated. And again, try and get the vibration. And another thing in the aspect of psychology, look into Queen Bee syndrome, right? And it's not syndrome. It's a feminine that can come into duality. Sometimes it's not a benefit, right? And I'll explain why. We get there regardless. We've got no choice because it's what society has, it's what's happened in our life, right? So in the beginning stages of the twin flame journey, you would have been very codependent. Moving through that frequency, you're then forced to utilize every friggin' tool in the book, and suddenly you've become dual, whereby for a point you might have been more masculine than feminine. Then you needed that femininity, so you tapped back into that, which was your emotional, your pain body, your energy, you know, your receptivity. In the masculine energy, what you'll find is you will attract a masculine frequency, right? But masculine frequencies need to be very self-aware, because feminines that have got to the point where they've balanced the male and the female energy inside them have had to utilize the male frequency. Now, a masculine will get triggered by this factor. This factor will only become problematic, and this is something masculines really need to understand. This isn't a permanent frequency that feminines hold. It's actually a frequency whereby we only hold it and we're able to switch and hand it back when they're holding their frequency correct, because we don't want to hold it. We've got it there as a tool because we've had to survive. It's not we have growing armpit hairs and, you know, hairs on our legs and we want to be men. We don't. It's part of the ecosystem of surviving in this modern world. There are times where there may come a point where we do need to assess, have the masculines become the feminines. And this isn't, and I'm not saying this from a point of view of judgment. I'm saying in the emotional body, what is wrong with being in touch with your feelings, right? At the moment, the energy of where they are, they're in touch with their feelings, but even separate to the tags. I hate tags, really. Let's put it in layman terms of, is there anything wrong with the woman being the main breadwinner? I mean, personally, I don't really want to be. I want to win a lotto, and I just want to get a little shack and a vegetable garden. I'm sweet. It's like, I'm not materialistic, and I think a lot of the masculines get, I need to provide the world because I've taken the bloody world. You just need to come correct. You need to come correct to your feminines. You need to be a true energy of a human being, being open, being truthful, being respectful, and holding integrity based in the connection you both hold individually, because each of your path will be very different in needs, and each of you know each other very well, but they need to heal prior to entertaining that. Jumping and getting intimate is dangerous. It's like, you know, someone healing off an addiction and then they're mixing with all their friends that are still doing it. Until their strength has come up, that can become problematic. It needs to be that separation. Same with any aspect of healing, you know, let them heal. They say if you can look after a plant, you are ready for a relationship. If you can't look after a pot plant, you're not right. Okay? So look at them, and if you want to test them, go here. Don't laugh at me, Shelley. Babe, here's a pot plant. And don't, wear a daisy bush. Something that needs a lot of care. What needs a lot of care, Shelley? We can't give them roses, and it can't be that other plant because I know they'd be quite happy to water that shit, especially the lower vibration ones, all that green. They'll be like, yeah, man, I'll look after this. It's like, no. What plant can we think of that's a real jerk to grow? Come on, come up with a plant. Some bloody plant that's hard to look after. I'm going to think of this one now. An orchid. There you go. Yeah, but they just got to be sprayed and it's humid. Yeah, I'll buy that. Okay. They need to procreate an orchid or an azalea. Oh, every bloody plant in this garden had a disease and I had to renovate the garden. If they could do that and be loyal and faithful to that plant, maybe they're ready for a connection, right? But it's the spirituality inside that needs healing, not necessarily, hey. Because if you're able to look after yourself and another thing, you're ready for a connection. So a lot of the trigger points that everyone's getting is, oh, my God, they're with this person. No, that person's babysitting them. Or that person that is in their life who is either dragging them around like a dog or treating them like crap is allowing them to believe they're worthless. And that's very sad. It's when we come to that happy place in our life and we realize there are people that we can't get rid of in our life, and that is a reality. But we can still create healthy boundaries. We can't change the other people, especially karmic energies. Like, you know, we might have an ex-partner that we've had kids with. It could be a mother or father frequency that they mix with regularly, or grandparents. You can't change that. But the way you hold your standard and the boundary and the fence you put up is what counts. And having everyone on the same page of knowing what their position is incredibly important. You know, that's your paddock. You stay over there and I'm staying over here. Spray bottle. Look, if they were really manipulative, they'd connect a spray system up with the timer. That's how lazy they'd be. No judgment, man. I'm sorry. It's just you're very creative. I'll give you that. Yeah, pretty sad, eh? Or maybe we could say that we put the orchid on the roof and then they'd have to climb up there each day, right? A bit of work then. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm telling you, after all these retrogrades, this shit has definitely brought my sense of humor out. Shelley will tell you. I have been incredibly in amusement. Any questions? Like I said, the astrology aspect, where I was going to do it per zodiac sign, I can't promise anything because I still have 40 videos to do. And I have clients bookings, and my daughter was sick with gastro. And I'm iron deficient. I've got to go have an infusion. So I'm living the dream. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually, and it was funny because when I did meet my twin, I was like, oh, he's such a clown. And now I'm like, if I don't laugh or have music in my day, no. Yes, I'm at 0. Apparently, I should be, yes, dead. I'm a queen. That's why I'm so pasty. I've been taking the tablets to hold me over till I can get in there, and I've got to have an infusion for the next year. Because I'm vegetarian. It doesn't absorb. Yeah, it doesn't absorb. So, and then obviously my daughter was sick and they told me that I had 0 iron, and I'm like, what? And she goes, how are you alive? And I went, I don't know. Apparently people that exercise a lot do get it, because females tend to lose their iron through their bones quicker. So make sure if you're doing a lot of exercise that you actually talk to your doctor, and, you know, if you need supplements, obviously have them after sport, because that can actually help. But I'm not a doctor. Go talk to your doctor. I had to work this shit out the hard way. But I'm European, so. It's not going to give me iron, Olsen. Trust me, I've been doing that. I mean, I had to cut the grass, which takes me 2 hours, which if there's a man free, I would love some help. And after that, I had to eat Vegemite toast because it has vitamin B, and smash an iron tablet. And then I hope I wasn't going to faint. And I hate eating carbohydrates. It does not sit right. So it was like, thanks. Look, Olsen, I'm going to send you a bloody chocolate bar for Christmas. Send me an inbox in Messenger. I'm going to send you a freaking chocolate bar, man. Shelley, does he live nearby? Is there a chocolate cake shop over there we can send him something? Yeah. I've got to go all out. There are a lot of people at the moment that are actually coming back with low iron. So if you haven't got it checked, go and get it checked, especially with the ascension symptoms. We've been through the ringer this year. But stress does not cause that. It increases your iron intake, doesn't decrease. Oh, look. I love my caramel chocolate. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I do need to. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, that's the masculine. See, they've got to drop the temptation. Don't give in to the dark side. It's for their life, not ours. Yeah, I don't process carbs that well. I can eat rice. Stir fry rice noodles, yeah. Kale. I still eat steak. I'm not saying I don't eat meat. I just don't. Ugh. Yeah. Maybe once in a blue moon. Yeah, I make my own chili oil, and I make my own, yeah, like fried rice, and, well, it's steamed rice technically, but I jazz it up with chili oil. I was Asian in a previous life, I'm telling you, because I love my Asian food. Yeah, well, I've got that in my family. I check it regularly, but I think it's the iron because, like, my twin, I probably drove him crazy because I had hair all through his house, and I told him I was stressed. I'm like, you're fucking stressing me out, man. I'm dropping my hair. And, yes, stress can actually eat your iron. Well, it depletes the vitamin B, I believe. Yeah, so my hair's actually staying now, but only because I've had iron tablets the last 3 days. What? Hypothyroidism. Yes, I have it in the family. As for 2019, now you're going to have to be patient moving into January, February with a few of the planets, where we do have a partial lunar eclipse on the 6th and we have a total lunar eclipse on the 20th. We're also going to be in blood moon energy. Yes. Most of the planets that are going to be aspecting are going to be in their own house. And the month is connected to birth, death, debt, and contracts, I believe. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's why I did mention in the videos for your finances. If there's anything you feel you can do, get it done. If it means rejigging your resume, get your resumes out ahead of time. If it means networking with your friends or looking at plan B, do anything you feel you can. If it means delivering newspapers, deliver a newspaper. Getting your bills paid ahead of time. If you need to skim back on certain things, do that and then add to another area. Be prepared, because things at left field can come January. Because I've looked at the astrology, that's why I was saying to Libras, get ready. If you're intuitively finding anything, address it. Don't take the rule of a 1-minute task, right? If you can see something that needs doing, don't leave it. Do it, because you're running out of time. So if you can see the dishes need doing, and I know it sounds lame, but it's organizing your life and getting into a, be more practical. If it means putting more plates and cups away to lessen your load because you're really flat out at work, lessen your load. If it means getting all the garden done so you don't have to do it, and you can enjoy your Christmas break, do your garden. If it means spring cleaning for the new season, spring clean for the new season. What you need to do, do. I want to find a rock and just wake me up when it's over. Just wake me up in March and I'll see you then, okay? I'll see you in March. You guys will be fine till March. Yeah, but I don't know. Frequency makes it through the friggin' bunker. Yeah, so anything to do with debt, if you haven't dealt with it, it can come up in January. There will be, with a lot of the planets aspecting, you'll find changes in government, changes in the way people deal with things, banks. And I've got to do a separate video. I started meditating onto some predictions I was having. And there's a lot of things in America that's going to change, for good and bad. So I'll tune into it a bit and I'll do a pre-recorded video so I can psychically tune in, and I'll put my predictions up for the year and we'll see what comes through, right? Just stay really grounded, Sarah. Don't put too much expectation. Engage where they're at. Like you're over the moon when it happens. Karma cocktails. Wow. Yeah, just feel grounded. Communicate. Depends on what's happening in your twin flame journey. It's where the planets are at the moment. Like right now, a karma cocktail. A chocolate karma cocktail. Yeah. Give them a plan and say, babe, can you look after this orchid for 6 months? You're going, I can't wait 6 months. You slow down. Slow down. Pretend you are Bridget Jones with the underwear on trainer wheels, right? You put the chastity belt on, you go out there and you're ready to kill it, and you're like, hi. I'm just saying. Because I do know you all have chemistry with your twin. But when you can control yourself, you're like, hi. Hey. Bridget Jones's underwear. And she's got the hairbrush. Ah. Yeah. I'm too excited to have a very exciting Christmas. Drinks, pina coladas. I make the best pina coladas. I'm not promoting alcohol. I've been feeling like Bridget Jones lately. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny, eh? My daughter absolutely loves Bridget Jones. I'm like, wow. Don't freak out inside, because then you're saying they're better than you. You're equal. If you're not equal, you're still putting them in kingdom when they haven't earned kingdom. And it's not, that sounds really egoic. Calm your farm. That's all I'll say. Stop freaking out. It's not like you won lotto. You're still doing the work. You feel like you won lotto. It's a fake perception. You just baby steps. Because you want to be safe. You don't want to be going in there going, everything's changed now because they've called me and the whole world's changed. They're human. Look at them in human eyes, not in, because when you do meet them, unfortunately, I'll admit it, we put them in a sense where they're a god and they're doing the same to their karmics. They're like, I need to get some young person to make me feel better about myself. My twin showed me that inside me. I was like, because I've always seen the best in them. I've seen the bad too. But coming to a place where you can do some work and you can go, I'm important too. You're important. I'm important too. I got a job in San Diego. Do you see any good news for me? It's a hard time of the year to do it. Look, Mercury retrograde is real shitty for communication. I would suggest networking. And why am I seeing... I'm not very... 1 minute. I don't know why I'm seeing Hollywood. That's where I'm seeing. And I'm not super in touch with where locations are in America. It's like people's perspective of how big Australia is we're a dot. We're not a dot. We're really large. From Perth to Melbourne is a 9-hour flight. So they're like, yeah, we know someone in Melbourne. Do you want to go see them? And I'm like, not unless I've got to get on a plane. It's cheaper to go to Bali. Yeah, Mercury retrograde will affect the communication. Although, if you are wanting to sell something and get top dollar for it, this is a perfect time to do that. Because people see value in things. They're triggered. They're moved by that. So you're better off to sell things right now. Come on down. Australia is beautiful. Okay. In relation to the position, is there somewhere you worked at before, Jen? Was there somewhere you worked before where you're located now? Okay, previous job I'm being shown. What is this previous job you were working at? Because what they're showing me is to go to a previous employer. Okay, so a previous line of work, speak to the previous employer, and I feel they have a contact. But you're going to have to be sneaky about it. You're going to have to flutter your eyes. Yeah, because you got the ego card, which to me is like pride comes before a fall. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go back to you. And it's like, get it, take it to hold you over till next year. You'll be done and dusted. And look, where you live and with people getting triggered about body image, especially with the Venus, and yeah, we're wanting to become more cleansed, and it could even be separate locations that is, yeah, people are wanting to work on themselves. So it's probably a good time in that area to get a position. Any other questions before I go? Because I have a 1-hour drive. No, it's not. Mercury retrograde till I think about the 16th. You can, and you'll get a better deal because you're able to bargain. But what you should do is read the fine print and get it checked. And you're better off to get a new one over a second-hand one, but make sure you have lots of cover notes because electrical items during a Mercury retrograde go up shit creek. It goes direct, but you still have the shadow aspect, so you're probably better off to get it in the new year, personally speaking. Don't worry, my car's shitting up, and I'm like, God, please help me. I can't do this right now. I'll be walking soon. Yes. So I'd probably wait till then if you can. Buy a bunkie if you need to. And yeah. I keep getting messages about secrets. How can I find out what it is? In relation to who? Hi, protected. I know you will, Stella. I saw you the other day, and I've been fiercely doing videos, so I haven't been up here. I'm so sorry, guys. Intuitively, I am feeling for the masculines they have had tower moments. So I will do a separate video after. I just wanted to touch base with you guys on a bit of the psychology and the mindset of some of the planets. But I will do a separate video for the update. Will your chocolate ever come back? Bloody oath they will, Olsen. They're coming for you. You just need to heal. And create a YouTube channel or come on YouTube with me. I still haven't been able to call you because I've been flat chat. I've been neck high in work. Sounds good to me, Olsen. Okay, now I feel I should check hospitals. Why does? What do you mean? Why do you need to check hospitals? Oh, for like positions. Follow your instincts. Ignore. We cannot control another person. If they wish, okay, I'll honestly tell you, if a person wants to do it, there's absolutely nothing you can do. Okay? If they do want to do it, they've made their mind up and it's something they chose to do, and there's nothing you can do if that person spiritually has got there. So you can never blame yourself for that. I don't feel that energy coming through. I do feel they're trying to get you back into that codependent frequency, all right? Because when the person's ghosting you, they're used to that runner-chaser mode. You need to stop that for you, okay? You need to stop that need, not a need. It's not a need. Allowing that to happen. It's BS, right? So by doing that, you're enabling them to never grow. Now, if something has happened, you can't blame yourself, right? Because they've got it into that habit, in that mindset, you know? The ghosting is to trigger you into fear-based frequency to make you do what they want you to do, which is shit. It's actually a mental abuse situation. So you need to choose not to tolerate the mental psychology of the aspect of it and step out of it because it's toxic. That's okay. Most welcome. It's hard to do that, Dale. Then you need to jump out of that equation. But it's coming down to you now because you're still playing that game. And it's not a game. It's the way it felt comfortable. It's what the dynamic was. When you stop that, you're telling the person, I may love you. I'm not playing this bullshit game no more. You want to go do that? You go do that with a dickhead because you're not doing it with me, sunshine. You know, somebody tried to do that with me this week and I saw through the shit. It's like, no, I would rather be single for the rest of my life. A pack of AAA batteries does the job. Sorry, I don't need it. I bust my butt in my life. I wouldn't mind a man coming to help me mow my lawn, help me out in my life, and there is room for that now. So they either come correct or they miss out. It's the way it goes. I'm just saying. I told you. See, this is why people look at me like they go, oh, she's easy. No, I'm not. I've got a sense of humour. It's my mother's fault. I blamed her the other day. My mum was very open because my grandmother was very prudish. I love you, God rest your soul, but her worst word was crumbs. And she was haunting me yesterday. We all deserve the best, even them. But unless they can learn they don't have to do that with you, they can be themselves. They can come the way they are. They can be jerks if they need to be, and you can laugh it off, but not lower frequency, not where they're playing games back and forward, entertaining other people. It's just not cool. Love and light, and I've got to go. And the battery's going to go. That'll be right. If I don't,